Hey guys, from MudMowers. Today, I'm going to be making an overview on my off-road tractor. Enjoy! So this is my off-road tractor I built Yall about a month ago. I made a video that I started working on it, and then I didn't really make any videos after that about it until I pretty much got it completed. I'll post that video in the description below. But just a quick overview, it's got an 18-hole supposed twin briggs and an MST 206 transaxle. My tires that I'm running are Duro, they're called Duro, that's really all. AT20 by 11-8. In the front, all X-Trax Carlisle's 16 by 6.5 by 8. We really love these tires. They are excellent. I think the set was $30. Suggest you buy these. These are really good tires. It has to make it a little bit bumpy on the road. So up front, I've got these LED pod lights, 4 of them. These ones are the low beams pointing down. These ones are the high beams. I've also got a Harbor Freight winch. Right here, it's a 2,500 pound ATV winch. And I have the fairlead, but I just haven't had time to actually put it on here. But I'm also going to paint this bumper once I get all that stuff done. Bumper should look a lot better. These wooden fenders I put on just because this thing is pretty fast, and these help keep the mud from flying right in your eyes and all the dirt. I would like to find some little fenders that just go right over the tire and make them connect to the spindle so it steers with the tire and it covers the whole tire, not these big wooden fenders. The 18-hole supposed twin is a Briggs & Stratton, and these are probably one of my favorite engines, these and the V-twins. If you're going to go heavy on your mud tractor or whatever you want to call it, use one of these engines. These are 70-ish pounds, but they are super reliable. They have a huge amount of torque, and they're just overall really good engines. I've got these 32, 38, 34, 36, somewhere in there. I think it's like a 30mm. They're Japan-made carburetors, slide carburetors. I'll post information in the description below. But the Kei Hin carburetors, you can't really read it. I've got 2 of those. I've got a fuel pump, and I've also got this fuel regulator. It's about 2 psi right now because these carburetors are supposed to have the gas tank up here, and I have to have the fuel pump, which is about 7-ish psi, which floods these carburetors. That's why this was on here, to keep it from going on the exhaust. But these carburetors are a huge upgrade. There's pretty much double the power. Excuse me. It accelerates so much faster, and there's also these fuel accelerators here. And this is the slide up here. This is the fuel accelerator. I do not have these hooked up yet. You can see a little thing moving over there. It goes into the carburetor and pumps more fuel. They both have it. I just need a 1 into 2 line to do that. We just got a gas filter here, which this is literally just a hand throttle right here. And I've just got a plate welded onto it. Welded this down to a tiny little plate down there just to keep it stabilized. Spring hooked up here, and you already would have your throttle line going to your carburetor, so there's really nothing you need to do. I would say you want to run a little spring from your linkage to somewhere so it pulls it back, because this won't pull it for the cable really good. I've got 2 chokes on here, 1 for each carburetor. I've got these PVC pipes. I think it's like 1 1/4 inch pipe. I've also got my breather just running right into the back of it. This thing is sealed up pretty well. There's no way water's going to get in there unless if you like push that and then let the water in, but that's not going to happen. Now these air filters costed like $7 each. They came with the carburetors I bought. These carburetors were $22 each. And I just got these up here because I run this thing through a lot of mud really fast. And these covers, these air filters have been sitting up there for about a month now. You can see they're pretty much spotless, except I can even wash around them. I will not wash directly at them. But this intake system works really well, and it also sounds pretty good when you're driving it. So I got this remote here for the winch, and I've got my high and lows here for the lights. It says H if you can see it, and L. There's the lights on, and yeah, those things are bright. Really good lights. I paid $36 for those on eBay. The whole thing was $36. I've also got this little instrument panel here. This means the clutch is not pushed in, but it's just because I don't have the clutch wire actually hooked up. There's a couple other stuff like batteries dead and such. But I lost a little sticker for it, so I've got this Husqvarna seat on here. Really comfortable seat. It's like for 2005-ish. The steering on this thing is pretty unique. The steering wheel, I really like it. It's a bit different than these plastic steering wheels. Like this. It's just plastic. This is a really fancy steering wheel. It's all rubber. It also looks pretty nice, and I've got the little cap because I had to take it off, and it's just glued on there. But it's a nice steering wheel. I really like it. It's very comfortable. Your hands don't slip on it. The steering, even though this is a 1980s frame I'm using, the steering in it is not the first gen steering that you'd think. You can see it in there. Even though it looks like first gen steering, not the second gen that'd be found in a 2000s Craftsman. That kind, which this kind is really decent and reliable. This is quite the steering. It's got little to no play. You can see me moving the steering wheel. The tires are barely moving. Now this axle does have a lot of... Shut up! Shut up! You can see me moving the steering wheel here. This axle does have a lot of play in it, because I wear it out a lot from going off jumps and such. Definitely something I need to fix in the future. But all the play is actually in that bushing right there. If I can hold the camera still. So if I could replace that bushing, like with a bronze bushing or something, the steering would be really good. Now the steering helps a lot when you're going faster, because you can turn a lot easier down sharper corners. You can see how direct the steering is. That's about half of a turn, and the wheel is pretty much turn all the way. It's actually like more of a quarter turn. Not a quarter turn. This one actually goes a little bit further. I probably do need to add steering stock, because these tires do rub up against the frame. But the steering is really good. It's a lot bigger of a ratio than the second gen steering or the first gen steering with that plastic bushing. This is all heavy duty. It's got a big sector gear. It's got probably a metal bushing. You can see there's actually a big angle iron plate. So yeah, this came out of like a 1980s, like the Cube Craftsmans, the Craftsman 2s. This thing, I like the sting on this thing. So, moving to the back, I've got the rear gas tank, the side shifter. That used to be my mower deck handle weld, but it broke right off. This is a little bit cut out because it's the MST. This frame had a spicer, but I put an MST in it, so it kind of shifts differently. I've got my GoPro camera pull up here. This is actually for the bagel, so it can pop off with 2 bolts. This thing is pretty sturdy. I mean, it's not the sturdiest thing you've seen, but it works great. It's really light and such. Moving to the back where the transaxle is, you can see there is a slight oil leak on this side. That side is perfectly dry. I do remember putting the seals in this transaxle and I assembled it, so maybe that seal is just bad. There's some more oil. I'm running 80W90 gear oil, which is a little bit better for these transaxles because it sticks to the gears are way better than what the engine uses. I have 3010 in the engine. Go down below here. So my pulley ratios, that is a 5.5 inch, or it might be a 5. This pulley is what you'd find on a Craftsman mower deck for the blades. And then on the wheel, I have a 3.5 inch pulley, very small pulley. And I have got this Kevlar belt, kind of chewed up because it fell out of the retainer back there once. But that's how my clutch system works. I've got stock clutch everything except this pulley here, which is a Tractor Supply pulley, because the old one was a plastic pulley. And I've also got this huge spring here for the clutch. It's a foot long right now. It's quite the spring. It clamps on this belt really tight. I need to adjust these thingies a little bit more, these belt guides. But this clutch is really good. I have little to no slippage. Even when I go through water, if I'm like in 4th gear, it doesn't slip at all. I do need to bend this clutch out a little bit more, straighten it, because I hit a bush and it kind of bent the bracket. Now one of my future upgrades I want to do to this thing is weld some angle iron down here from on the frame, and then bolt a plate underneath it so my pulleys and everything in my belt stays protected. Now going to exhaust, I would like to change these exhaust pipes out. These are actually GT mufflers for like a V-twin. They would tip on the side like this, and there's one of them. I had a couple of them, so I just slapped them on here. And that's how they're hooked up on each side. Pretty simple. I've just got these brackets holding them up to the frame. I roll this thing constantly, and this one's all bent because it always rolls on this side. You can see where it's been welded down there because it's cracked open so much. This one has actually never been rolled on this side. It's actually nice and quiet. This one is very loud. And what my plans are is to get some pipe fittings, metal pipe fittings, and run it out kind of underneath the footboard. And then get some mufflers back here, and I could literally fit them right in here. They wouldn't stick out here because they'd probably hit the tile. But they're these little 4-inch mufflers that Tractor Supply sells. They're really good mufflers. So that's my plan for this thing. I don't really have any other plans except the fenders, the mufflers, and I want to put some belt guides and stuff on. So I really enjoyed this thing. I do need to put some better fenders on it because I've just got this garden separator stuff. This one was actually ripped off. I actually took all the little rivets out because I was going to put a new one on, but I'm thinking of doing what Doc Sprocket did. He's got some mud, like some fender, some mud flow stuff comes out not too far and then kind of wraps around the back. Really flexible stuff. This plastic doesn't really bend in much. I actually tore this one off of a stump I went by. So yeah, I really enjoyed building this thing. It's been a great ride. It's held up really good for being a year old plus. So I'm going to do some driving with it, show you how fast it is. It's pretty fun.